Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, and others. Today you find us three weary travelers on a never-ending dirt road that lines the border between greatness and absolute garbage. A pilgrimage that all great fans of anime should one day travel down, but today it is our turn. We will ask many questions and receive many answers. Today's answer is Nachi Mikami. I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles. I'm second.
Are you sure you're Miles? I'm Geoff.
And this is Quest for the Best. I had this whole thing prepared. I had this whole thing prepared where I was going to give an apology to you guys for ragging you about openings of this podcast. I'm going to take that all back. Although I did have a point in where I realized while editing the podcast that I do have the distinct advantage because when we do our names, I'm always first. So that is like the most obvious throw to you guys versus like when you guys do it, it's like you don't necessarily know how to throw to me and I don't necessarily know how to pick up where to go and when to actually jump in. So,
I mean, I just kind of figure I leave a blank space. I wait for you to say I'm Tristan, and then I trust editor Tristan to cut out that 10 or so seconds of dead air.
Which I cut out dead air, but I won't cut out the mischief of what
pause.
have you.
The awkward pause caused by your own inability to take a hint.
I feel like I'm playing Rhythm Heaven and just like getting a game over every time I play, and then I have to wait a whole week to play again. I'm Miles.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Geoff.
And this is Quest for the Best. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're totally doing that intro multiple times. I don't care. It's great. Anyway, to start off today's episode, we have a good main topic eventually that we will get to. But before that, as we like to do at the start of every episode, we have a question of the week. And this week's question comes to us from Steven, who exists in the Netherlands. And Steven asks, what anime that you've watched, bonus if recently, do you think you would have enjoyed/appreciated more if you'd seen it at a different point in your life? For some reason, I feel like I literally answered this question in podcast. I just don't remember what it was. I feel like in one of our main
solo
quests...
leveling. If you were a 13-year-old boy, you would have been all over that shit, and so would I, and so would Miles.
I'm sure.
Question answered.
Sure. No, but seriously, I feel like one of the main quests that we did, one of my main points was I really wish that I'd watched this like 10 years ago, and I can't remember for the life of me what episode that was.
I mean, I feel that way about Freerun a little bit.
Maybe for you, not for me. That wouldn't have made it for Freeman, but I don't know.
So I feel like the thing with this question is that we have a lot of data that shows that it could have been anything, right? So if I had watched The Wuthering Heights when I was 12, it would have awoken something in me that ended up getting awoken anyway in a slightly different fashion, right? If I watched like Record of Lodoss War like 10 years earlier, that would have been my entire personality throughout my entire teenage years. Like there are so many titles that like there's like that sweet spot where you're first coming into your own of media consumption, where you're first finding things that are yours and you can identify with that are not given to you by friends or family or just, you feel like you unearthed and that you feel some ownership of.
Like that favorite game that you discovered by like reading through magazines and finding like reviews and this, you're like, ooh, this one looks good. And then you get it and 20 years later, you're trying to convince all your friends to play Steamboat Chronicles.
Yep. Yeah.
There's definitely a right place, right time, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's one that I'm extremely grateful for, which it was my favorite anime when I first watched it, but it would have ruined college for me had I watched it 1 or 2 years earlier, which is the Tatami Galaxy. Because I watched that my senior year, which was a really messed up way to live my senior year, because it's very much a what if anime. But if I had about that exact experience, if I had watched it just like freshman or sophomore year, I think I would have had a like full-blown existential crisis every episode.
Yeah.
I would recommend waiting till you're like either confident enough in yourself or graduated college to watch the Tatami Galaxy.
Or
which
I can just watch it free because I never went to college.
There you go.
I mean, you should watch. If you haven't watched the Tommy Galaxy, we are going to make you watch the Tommy Galaxy. That's an episode.
I have watched the Tommy Galaxy, but
good.
I'll
So we're going to do that, and we're also going to...
But I'll watch it again for the episode.
Yeah, either same episode or a different episode for Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
What about Tatami Time Machine Blues?
Do you know what's funny?
What
the
is
Tommy
funny?
Galaxy is one of my favorite anime I've ever seen in my life.
That tracks.
Never watched an episode of the sequel.
I haven't either yet. And you know why?
Disney Jail?
Because it's on Disney Plus. Disney Plus, baby.
Yeah, but I've had Disney Plus for most of the time it's been available. I just didn't for like the first year it was on there.
Yeah.
And now that like you've waited that extra year, you're like, I can still wait. You have like no motivation to watch it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Watching anime on Disney Plus is a legitimately miserable experience, right?
I mean, it is, but it is not just Disney Plus that happens. Do you want to know how many freaking DVDs are on the shelf behind me that I have not watched? I have access to them.
Yeah.
They're right there.
I mean, hey, same. I like, we
Now,
buy
in
these
fairness,
things.
the majority of this I have watched, but there are some choice things that I have not.
I got all these Berserk volumes back here I still haven't read.
But you want to take your time with that. You want to take your time with this.
And I keep being in Japan and not being able to read Berserk at all from my special editions, which sucks.
Because you're not going to take that on the plane.
But yeah, I mean, like, I do think that Disney Plus is a uniquely terrible viewing experience for anime specifically, with the fact that you have to use closed captions instead of subtitles.
And there's no science.
Ouch. Okay.
Yes. And also, when they do put out a dub for things, it's always terrible. Okay, well, I can't say always because I haven't watched all their dubs, but the summertime rendering dub was like...
I was about to say, I heard pretty good things about, what's it called? What's the Red Ranger? No, not the Red Ranger one. The Sentai Hero one.
Oh, yeah.
Sentai Isekai dub. I heard that one was pretty good.
I forgot about that one. Wait, Sentai Isekai? Are you sure it's Sentai Isekai and not Go-Go Loser Ranger?
Go-Go Loser Ranger. That dub is... That's what I mean, yeah.
I've hesitated to use that title because I know the Tokusatsu guys hate it. They hate Go-Go Loser Ranger.
I wonder why.
The official title of the show?
Yeah. No, they think it's a bad localization. And they're like very, very passionate about that. I have never...
They're allowed to be passionate.
Just whenever I mention it, I get a weird amount of comments of people being like, we hate that title. I'm not entirely sure why either.
Is it at the same level of hatred as like refusing to call it My Hero Academia and going out of your way to say Boku no Hero Academia?
I mean,
those people? Is it the same level as hatred? That's gotta
be a meme, right? Those people all had to be memeing. There is no way. I mean, no.
Attack on Aotins, Geoff.
Yeah.
People would get in fights.
People
would punch each other in the face in real life.
Over Boku no Hero Academia?
Over Aotins. I hope not over Boku.
Oh, wait. Oh, I mean, people should punch. Wait. People should punch each other in the face for calling the Yotena Onslaught that garbage, butchered English title that the official release has. But Boku no Hero it's literally just It's literally just saying the word my. Like, you could say my brackets masculine, academia,
which is a better title for that should have been the hashtag is macadamia.
It should have been.
Instead of hashtag BHNA, which is longer than the hashtag MHA, and MHA sounds way better to say. Also, yeah, like, were they trying to just like accidentally Google anime named Boku? Like, I don't know what's going on there.
No, it just reminds me of that Songwon skit. You remember the Songwon skit where you had the teenager that just replaces all their words with things that they learned from shonen, just in their normal vernacular? Like, that's what I think of. Is those people?
That is what it really was. But there was such a defensiveness of it, and the thing is, it stopped basically the moment that the pirate sites, like the bootleg streaming sites that literally mined Bitcoin on your computer, got shut down. And then the ones that replaced them defaulted to the English titles. So people stopped using the dumb titles. I say dumb titles. the Romaji titles just don't make sense. If you're talking in English, you're not calling it the Japanese title. You're using like a weird phonetic version that not even the Japanese government even uses anymore. They're changing like Romaji again.
Are they?
Anyway, yeah. It's really annoying, actually. But
yeah,
that's a much bigger topic. That they're gonna basically every anime's Romaji name is gonna have to be redone anyway, which is I'm stoked. All my databases are gonna be in such great shape.
That seems like a very efficient use of the Japanese government's time.
So there is part of it that I do understand, which is that they saw that the South Korean government and cultural forces basically said, we're going to keep our last name, first name order. Thank you very much. And the Japanese were like, we tried to do that. And no one let us. Let's do it again now. And then this is part of a larger cultural, like them owning how their country and culture is perceived overseas. I understand it from that perspective, you know?
Like, I understand them wanting that policy just because South Korea has it now. But like in both cases, I feel like it just makes more sense to just flip the names around when you are talking to an English speaker so that you don't have to explain every single time that the last name comes first in Japanese.
My, I did not know Canadians were such imperialists.
It's not the purpose of like default language guidelines should be to be as understandable to as many people as possible.
How dare you, Geoff? No, I do agree though.
I understand.
But Geoff, is there an anime that you would have appreciated more if you watched it at a different stage in your life?
The question.
I mean, I think if Mob Psycho 100 had came out when I was a teenager, I would have been happier and emotionally well-adjusted sooner. You know,
would you have still gone the same career path? Would you have still done the Vidya stuff?
Yeah, I think so. If anything, I would have been more adamant about pursuing my dreams and whatnot. I think, I don't know. But yeah, I think I probably still would have ended up on YouTube. Yeah, maybe even harder.
That's the thing. I think you might have done it earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Just been so inspired by how Mob changed my life that I just wrote that video essay as my first one instead.
If that was your first, though, it probably wouldn't have been written the same way, and it might not have been as good. It's like your first draft or your first video or your first book is never like.
I mean, you say
best.
that.
Not everybody is Pat Rothfuss.
You say that. That is true. In the Name of the Wind is a really good book.
It's a really good book.
But I mean, you say that, but like, my first video was a banger.
But would it have been? Well, because that's the thing. Like, if you started and you made your videos like a bunch of years earlier, like you're talking about, so the banger video was the Geoff that you were at that time. We're talking about a Geoff that is several years earlier than that. Would he also have been able to make that banger video or a similarly banger video?
Back in high school?
Did you have the experience at that point?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I probably actually would have just ended up making videos at the same time, just because like the trajectory that got me there was I went to, like we had a little bit of video editing experience from our computer class, which
oh wow, I didn't get any video editing experience from my computer class. That would have been great. I would have had so much good times.
It might have been
you had computer class.
I might be,
yeah.
Yeah, so we had a digital media class and like a basic computer class. And digital media, we like learned the ins and outs of the Adobe suite, basically. And that was
which was mostly
helpful.
Just Photoshop for us.
But
we did
it. Yeah, I barely touched Premiere in that. It was just kind of like a edit 1 minute of stuff that you film in order to prove that you know how to use a digital camera and stuff, which sounds very silly to the people listening at home, but like to both the Gen Xers and older and the Gen Zers and younger who are listening to this podcast right now, this is the lack of these classes is why you can't use the internet and your brain is slowly being cooked by misinformation. And we millennials are just a stronger breed than you because of these classes specifically. But Anyway, moving on from
You merely adopted the internet. We were born in it.
No, actually, we adopted the internet.
Yeah,
the Zoomers were born in it, and it was a big. It's a big.
It was
problem.
a bad time.
It is a big societal problem that they were. But yeah. So like after high school, I went to Vancouver Film School, and that's when I like really started learning how to use Adobe Premiere and stuff like that. And then I had to spend a year, or no, it was like 2 years attempting to get into paid game journalism before I like gave up and decided, if I'm not getting paid, I may as well just write stuff for myself, see how that goes. 10,000 views first video, baby. Suck it, Steve.
Bravo.
Indeed, Steve. Please suck it. Tristan, did you answer this question?
Technically, no. I was trying to think, and I only came up with a very bad answer, which was if instead, this is like not even when I was like very young. This is only like recently, like 2017. If Cygames released Uma Musume Cinderella Grey instead of season 1 of Uma Musume, you can bet your bottom dollar I would have gotten into the Japanese gacha when it came out rather than when Global was launched, and I would be so much poorer right now if that happened.
I mean, and you would you'd be exponentially poorer right now because you would have just downloaded Global and started collecting all your Umas again.
Well, no, I wouldn't have done that, especially considering like how I am very aware of how shitty Global is compared to the Japan and even the Korean and Taiwanese servers. I would not, if I was already established on the JP server, I would not touch Global with a 10-foot pole. No way. No way. As it is, I'm barely touching Global as it is. Well, I'm touching Global a lot. I'm playing it probably far too much. But yeah, I know how bad it is, and I wish it was better, and I hope it gets better because we're not having a good time on Global right now.
We're not?
No.
I thought everybody loved Uma Musume. I have
that might have been like 3 or so weeks ago. But at time of recording, this is going to date this podcast heavily. We're not having a good time with the second champions meet. So anyway, because that would be the first answer I had. Is that would be something that would have changed my life drastically had I watched it. Would I have appreciated Cinderella Grey more if it came out in 2017? Probably not. I probably appreciate it just as much as I do now, which is a lot. So.
Oh, Last Exile. If I watched that when I was 14 instead of when I was 20, I would
How
be...
How old was I when I watched Last Exile? I think I was 19 or 20 when I watched Last Exile for the first time.
I think
I would literally be fist fighting people.
I watched Last Exile, I think, when I was 16, 15, on justdubs.net.
Shout out again to that website.
Yeah, that's another thing, Gen Z. We had better anime piracy sites than you.
Oh, yeah, because One Piece of Bleach was peak. Come on, let's be serious right now.
The internet was just better when we were kids.
Well, the internet now is just like 5 websites.
Yeah, exactly.
When we were kids, the internet was hundreds of websites. It was an actual web.
I love forums. I mean, forums are how forums helped me so much with anime.
Yeah.
Shout out to the spritersresource.com. The Spriters Resource was a site that ripped a bunch of sprites from, mostly SNES era games.
Still up.
They're still around. They're still around. They rip 3D models now too. They're great.
They had forums back in the days that were active. And that was one of the many, many places where learned about anime.
Man, remember when every single thing on the internet had its own forum? And
yes.
you could just like get into like a really, really weird niche community by being a fan of some webcomic or like.
Yes.
You
want to know why I say yes?
So much.
Because I ran some of those.
And everyone had a role-playing sub and all that, not sub, the role-playing, I forget
board.
What forum sections. Board. Yeah, board. It's been so long since I've used a forum. I forgot the nomenclature.
I still use forums to talk about Magic cards. It's like really the best format for talking about most things, I think, in life, because I am a busy person and I will ignore everything on Discord.
Not only that, but going back on Discord, like I'm on Discord servers now where it's like I want to follow the thread, but it's like there's no easy way to scroll up to what had got posted. Like if you haven't been on the server for like 2 or 3 days, like you don't want to scroll through all that. And the app does not make it easy for you.
The problem with Discord is that instead of threads, you just have the board be an open soup of everybody posting whatever they're talking about, right? You know,
Yeah.
And boards had like dedicated topics. Man, can you imagine if Discord had just let you sort conversations by their topics?
I mean, it has that, but nobody uses it.
Well, no. So the thing is, the threads in Discord don't really work, and they're not indexable quite as easily. I know there are ways you can kind of make it work, and I'm on a couple Discords that try really hard to do this, but going back in time is miserable. You can't follow a conversation in the same way.
Yeah, you have to be there. Discord is no replacement
Constantly.
for forums. Forums were like, I mean, they still exist, and Miles, you're right. They are like still, for any hobby, a forum is objectively the best place to engage with it.
At least back when people understood the format and wanted to use it.
Yeah.
A dead forum is a dead forum, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, that, and most forums are dead, unfortunately. So you have to resort to Reddit, which is okay, but
not great.
I think it was better when internet content was sorted by timeliness rather than upvotes and engagement
Brigading.
algorithms.
Yeah. Upvotes and downvotes are not very conducive to things.
Well,
and
I
also,
will say upvotes and downvotes are better than retweets.
Yeah, sure. But also,
Low bar.
like Reddit, like I can, in the last month, I've had 3 posts I've made on various subreddits get just deleted by just like mods for fairly arbitrary
I mean,
reasons.
the thing is,
Right?
Miles, Reddit.
I mean,
Reddit,
I could argue that mods of forums would do the exact same thing.
I'm just gonna Reddit is exactly like capitalism. It is the worst website except for all the other ones. As you would put it, Miles. I would disagree with that about capitalism, but I would say it about Reddit.
The thing with this is, Tristan, you're right that there have always been power hungry mods. The thing is, the mods have outsized power to what they used to have. And also they used to ban people for arbitrary things, but they didn't ban conversation in the same way.
Well, so
Reddit
Reddit's actually taken steps to get rid of power mods. They're implementing a new law, like a new rule that you can only moderate like a limited number of subreddits.
Is sure
too little,
Alt
too
accounts,
late. Probably.
VPNs. People are going to get around it.
Sock puppets,
Yeah.
What Reddit is also doing is it's deleting anything that they think is sufficiently unmoderated. They're deleting a lot of subreddits this week. So like,
not just this week, but like historically. The amount of times I've tried to click on a thing and it's like, hey, this subreddit doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, I guess everything just is our anime or nothing.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, and I mean, the thing is, when they get rid of subreddits, there goes a little bit of the only usable part of Google.
I mean, not just that, but like in the terms of anime, like if you get a subreddit about an anime and it was like popular and there are good discussions, if the show stops being popular because, you know, time passes, it's been a while, the mods disappear and then Reddit gets rid of it because it's unmoderated, the history of all those posts and all those discussions is vaporized instantly. And that's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're public now, Tristan. You have to understand there's stakeholders and shareholders and investors really need to make sure they're getting that return on that dollar.
Eat the rich.
I want to introduce you guys to Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
He's
Bobby.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
And he's running away now.
So, sideQuest.
SideQuest. Right. Our side quest today is actually related to our main quest.
Tangentially.
Well, I mean, not just
More than
tangentially.
tangentially.
They are both spiritual successors to Cowboy Bebop that start with a prison break and are about trying to find one guy.
And we'll find out if the one guy even actually matters. So we're doing a kill quest today on Lazarus.
Yes.
Which is the most recent Shinichiro Watanabe anime series that aired this year.
The hot spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop, literally commissioned as a spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop by Adult Swim, except when Shinichiro Watanabe said to Adult Swim, hey guys, I want to make it a comedy, you know, like Cowboy Bebop was. They were like, no, it's got to be a drama like the 4 episodes of Cowboy Bebop that everybody talks about.
That we turned into Netflix Cowboy Bebop.
Yep. And look how well that went.
So yeah.
My one-liner, well, maybe not one-liner, but my general description of Lazarus was, this is the anime version on Warner Brothers going to the Wachowskis and saying, we want you to remake The Matrix. And they're like, I guess if we have to, but we're going to do it this way and you're going to deal with it. That's what it feels like.
Kinda, yeah. It's yeah. So like, it's frustrating to talk about Lazarus, right? Because it's an interesting,
it's not a dumpster
idea
fire
for a show. It's far from a dumpster fire. It's like
it's good. It has it's still a Watanabe anime. That's kind of the thing.
It's like a high 7 out of 10, right? You know, it's like the worst Watanabe anime, I think, which makes it. I mean, the worst Watanabe anime. It's worse than Terror in Resonance. Terror in Resonance is like
I wouldn't put Terror in Ooh, okay. Never mind.
Terror in Resonance is like an 8 and Lazarus is like a 7.
Okay.
Terror in Resonance is not an 8, but I think about it all the time and I love it dearly. But it is not an 8. Let's be really serious right now.
I would think that Terror in Resonance is higher than an 8, but the main reason that I think Terror in Resonance is higher than an 8 is because of its soundtrack. You remove the soundtrack of Terror in Resonance, it actually goes down, and it's a 7.
And that's why it balances out to an 8, in my opinion. I also, pretty much, this is the first 7 out of 10 Shinichiro Watanabe anime, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't miss. He just shot very wide and only grazed.
It was more like a scatter shot, a buckshot.
Yeah. So the premise of Lazarus, for those of you who don't know, is very, very, very effective painkiller comes out that literally eradicates all sense of pain, right? Like emotional pain, physical pain, with no side effects. And it's not addictive, and all of this stuff, right? But then, it's psychologically addictive. People use it all the time because it gets rid of all their pain. But it turns out 3 years after this miracle drug is released, it turns out that the guy who made it put like a mutating retrovirus that in exactly 3 years would kill every single person who used it, starting with patient 0, which is him. So everybody on Earth has 30 days to find him and get the antidote. Or
assuming he has one.
No, he says that he has the antidote.
Oh, wait, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he says, come find me. If you can't find me, it's the end of humanity. And then
it's a journey to find the man.
And then the government puts together, what is this, some kind of suicide squad to
No, literally, yeah.
So they rope in a bunch of people with like criminal charges, including one guy who they go to recruit him and he breaks out of jail kind of just to stunt on them. And the entire first episode is everyone chasing him down for not a really strong narrative reason, but it is a cool way to introduce the characters. And
it's a rule of cool. It's a rule of cool because legitimate, narratively. Yeah, I agree with you. That scene is why, but from a visual perspective and to understand from a character perspective, what he does and how he does it. And also to be hey, you remember Bebop?
Yeah, a lot bit remember Bebop. But also,
no, because he broke out of the entire thing and smooth jazz was playing. I'm this is Bebop.
I guess it does.
Jazz that is smooth, you mean?
Jazz that is smooth.
It does kind of send home that like he is the kind of guy who like breaks out of prison purely for the love of the game. Like even if freedom is being handed to him on a silver platter, he's just gonna do a runner just because he can, because he loves parkour, I guess.
Yeah, and that's like the thing with Lazarus is like I like that. Yeah. There are so many things that I'm like, hey, I like that, but then like there are so many other things that I'm just like are not executed very well. Also, I feel like the show is too short. Yeah, I feel like. So much of it, I'm just like, this is a 1-core anime. This should have been a 2-core anime, but maybe that was Adult Swim or Watanabe or somebody else being like, Bebop was too long. You really needed to cut half the episode.
No, it's the money. It's the money. It's
not. It's absolutely not.
They're not doing 12 episode series of any original anime anymore.
You mean 22, 24?
Or 24, yeah. They're not doing 24. They're only doing 12 episodes these days.
Yeah, but I don't think that's because of the money. So I know that I've read that like because of the timing of this, when it happened with the Warner Media debacles and like Max to HBO Max to who knows what we're at now, all that stuff, they had to borrow, scrape, and steal. But anime is so obscenely cheap to make that if they had just said it cost twice as much, there would have been no confusion about it. The problem is, and so here, it's really hard to make an original anime that's 2-core because getting everyone in the room to do it is way harder than just double the price. Getting people to be clear, like clearing out a studio, like having studio, like a production line for that long is really, really hard when there's 20 other people trying to squeeze in. And also with original anime, those are the ones where the director's always behind, the production's always behind because they don't have that source material to lean onto.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any episodes
so you
of
get
Lazarus.
that Shirobako.
So again,
you get that Shirobako thing where the director has to get locked in a closet until he finishes the screenplay.
So it is the money, but more in the sense that like, we could be making more money adapting a Shonen Jump property in this block of our studio's time that we have. And we can only set aside 12 episodes worth of production time.
Why make another season of Lazarus when we can instead remake Sexy Commando?
If only.
If Miles was in charge of anime companies. But yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that like original anime being too short is just an overall problem faced by a lot of anime studios in general, and that's part of what makes Apocalypse Hotel
so great. I agree.
Apocalypse Hotel so special. I was literally going to say Apocalypse Hotel so special because it's a perfect 12 episodes.
Shout out to our episode on Apocalypse Hotel, which you should go and watch so that we don't have to regurgitate any of that information here today.
Yes. But yeah, so Lazarus, like, so I've watched all of Lazarus.
I haven't watched a single episode. So this is actually the first time we're doing a Kill Quest where I am a complete ignoramus. The cool thing here is I trust these guys' opinions on this particular topic because they know Watanabe stuff better than I do. Like, I like everything Watanabe's done that I've seen, but I also acknowledge this is not my strongest suit, which is going to make the later part of this conversation really funny. But
well, and for my part, I did a video on Lazarus when it was airing, and it still had, I think we were like a month out from the finale. There were still like 3 or 4 episodes left. I always meant to go back to watch those 3 or 4 episodes, but I didn't. And also, I feel like it probably, like, not having seen the ending, and I'm sure Geoff can correct me if I'm wrong on this. It is my general belief, after watching a lot of Watanabe shit, that he does not care about endings, and endings don't matter to him, and it's more of the journey that matters. And we're going to see a little bit more of that once we get to main topic. But like, you don't really, like, the ending of Bebop is important and matters, but I feel like the bulk and the meat is in the middle. Samurai Champloo is all about the journey. That is shampoo. That is Champloo in a nutshell. It is mostly about the journey, and I feel that that's the same for like Kids on the Slope. I feel like that's the same of Carol and Tuesday. I don't feel like the ending matters that much.
Hold up. Okay. Kids on the Slope, excuse me,
had like a 10 out of 10 ending. It had one of the best endings of all anime.
Yeah. But that was based on, that was based on a manga. That's kind of separate.
No, but that wasn't my point. But it's not that the ending didn't matter, but it was more of it was the journey to the ending. Like, you can still have a 10 out of 10 ending. I still believe Bebop had a 10 out of 10 ending.
But no, I mean, like Kids on the Slope specifically, like the journey matters a lot, but it's like
more so than the ending, or less so than the ending.
It's all building towards what the ending does, right? Like. It's all a story of how these characters come together and then end up where they are in that ending and why. And you know, like the ending's so important in that show. It
is paramount, you might say?
Yeah.
Sorry, just on Kids on the Slope. I'm normally not the biggest ending guy because I'm not with Tristan in thinking that that's the most important part of the story or even like top 5. But Kids on the Slope.
Here we are.
Kids on the Slope specifically, I just like that ending is so important to the entire narrative in such a way that like it's one of my favorite anime, and I just like I need that ending because that ending validates every episode, and every episode is building towards it in a way that most stories pretend that they do, but don't.
And I think the ending of Cowboy Bebop is also like that. I think
again, it's still a 10 out of 10 ending, but like,
well, no, like I would really say that Samurai Champloo is the only Watanabe. I mean, I guess Space Dandy too. Space Dandy's like the ending. I mean, you know, Space Dandy's not even about the journey.
It's never over.
It's never over. That is correct. But
there will always be a dandy guy in space.
Space Dandy also isn't about the ending or even the journey. It's just about what's happening literally right now. And that's what's great about it, right? Like, there is no journey. He can literally die one episode, and then the next episode, it's just business as usual. But like Samurai Champloo, part of the poetic statement of that anime is that their goal is meaningless and impossible, right? Because sunflowers don't smell like anything. That is the entire, like, philosophical punchline of Samurai Champloo, is that they're looking for an impossibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they're, you know, the journey is all that matters in that one. But like I think I would say like Carol and Tuesday, the ending matters, even if it's kind of head ass, but it is everything that the show is building towards.
But my general point is that I've gotten the feeling with a lot of Watanabe stuff is that he doesn't put the same emphasis on endings as I do. And then my thought and theory was that regardless of how Lazarus ends, whether they catch the guy or not, the goal of each individual episode is to make you care about the individual characters and the Suicide Squad team, essentially. And whether or not they get him, it's kind of tertiary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was the theory I had. That was the theory I had, having not seen the final 3 episodes.
Okay, I would actually. That is kind of what it feels like, and there are a lot of like wild goose chases and red herrings. Like, the thing is, you find
so many.
So you find
that's
out
like every episode. It's like, oh, we're going here and we're doing this thing that is somehow related to the backstory of one of the main characters because we think Buddy might be here or related to someone, or maybe somebody knows something, and then it turns out red herring. Communism was a red herring.
The thing is, you find out where Skinner is, or if you're paying attention, you can figure out where Skinner is in the first couple episodes.
Yep.
They hand the mystery to you on a silver platter, basically, or I mean, not on a silver platter.
A silver platter is literally having an arrow pointing he is here, and the characters are just ignoring it.
Yeah. Whereas like it's making a point with that, which is interesting. Like the story is really about these characters exploring our world, or like Watanabe's interpretation of the near future, which is meant to like crystallize messages about environmentalism. The whole thing is obviously a metaphor for the opioid crisis. But then also it mixes in some of the response to COVID and global warming and like, how people don't really like.
There's a whole global warming episode. I love it.
But like if a crisis plays out over 30 days instead of, people aren't going to care until the last couple days, right? They're going to be like, oh, someone else is going to fix it. We're fine.
Someone else is going to deal with it. And technically our main characters are trying to.
And like the journey that they go through trying to find Skinner, going to all of these different places that he's been through his life, like the island where he found all of the people who don't have pain signals to their nerves, and then he used that to like develop the drug, which is also the episode about environmentalism, because they like go and it's like, oh, this place is so beautiful and you can't find places this beautiful close to cities anymore. And it's supposed to make you like contemplate, well, like, does he have a point to end us all? Right. And the painkiller is ultimately like, I think supposed to be a metaphor for society and how people operate, like we push painful and unpleasant things to the periphery of our awareness, which is why, spoilers for Lazarus, editor Tristan, please put a timestamp here for when the end of the Lazarus spoilers are up.
Thank you, editor Tristan. I'm sure you will have no issue doing that.
And I'm sorry I'm going to have to spoil this for you, Miles, and I guess you, Tristan. But so after going all over the world, going to a cult compound that worships an AI based on Skinner's personality that ultimately tries to like also destroy the world, and like going around and like finding all of these, like at one point they find out that the government was testing the painkiller on prisoners, including the main guy, Axel, the parkour guy. And like the NSA stages essentially a coup to try to kill him so he can't report on all the illegal shit that they've been doing. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening, right? And it is exposing like corruption in the government and the way that a pretty well thought out position of how a military leader within America might try to seize power, et cetera, et cetera. After all of that, we find out that this whole time, Skinner was just hiding out in a homeless encampment that they go to in the third episode. And you actually see them. They directly interact with him. He's just this blind guy with sunglasses. One of the guys looks directly at him, and the guy's like, oh, he doesn't talk. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just moves on. And I think that that's supposed to be the big statement, is that like he hid there because the homeless are invisible. This homeless encampment is the drug, right? It is this segmenting off this part of our experience that makes us uncomfortable and putting it somewhere else where we don't have to think about it. The way we treat the homeless is akin to our opioid addictions, and it's just trying to say too much, I think.
That's kind of the vibe I got from the whole show. And that's probably one of the reasons why I said I wish it was kind of longer so that they had more time to try and deal with all of this instead of bringing up all these really good points and these really good ways of discussing things. But then it's like there for an episode and then we have to move on. And we don't really get time to process it.
The whole government coup thing is done in like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's just not enough time, especially for, I mean, you've got 5 main characters. 6 counting the Amanda Waller.
And with 13 episodes, that gives everybody 1 episode and then a bunch of story episodes.
And yeah,
Axel gets more than 1 because he's the main character. Okay, cool.
No, Axel actually, I mean, I guess he gets the first episode and then the one where he fights an assassin, which It's also like there's a lot of stuff that it's borrowing bits and pieces from Bebop, which is fine, right? You know, but like
if it borrowed Yoko Kanno, I'd be a lot more impressed and happy. But I mean, she was too busy doing Bebop on Netflix.
So let me get this straight. Watanabe heard the phrase "opiate for the masses" and was like, "That's a good turn of phrase. I can work with that."
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's like it is about a lot, right? It's like kind of trying to ask this whole question of like, does humanity deserve to survive at all? And there's like a bunch of mixed messages, and like
the narrative also gets slightly weird in its presentation because every episode starts with one of the main characters doing like a bit of a backstory monologue sort of thing as a cold open. And it's like, they're really interesting and I love them, but I almost wish we got more of that kind of style rather than this disjointed, like faceless voice. Well, not voiceless, but this kind of like empty narrator monologue sort of thing. It's like, I like the sequences like in isolation, but I don't really know how I felt about them on an episode by episode basis. Because it just felt more like, hey, we need to tell you some backstory. We're just going to slide it here and have one of the most relevant characters give it to you as a narration. And I'm just like, I like it. It's interesting, but I don't like it in how it relates to the rest of the episode. It just kind of feels like a shoehorn. Did you feel that way, Geoff, about those segments? Or how did you take them?
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of the exposition was a little shoehorned in. Yeah.
Heavier handed. But also 13 episodes.
You can't. Yeah, you have to like. It's a complicated story, right? You know, there's like this whole drug that they have to explain, and then they kind of have to give you an idea of like what the current state of human civilization is in the story.
Yeah, like it reminds me, like I've been watching some of the writing masterclass videos that Brando Sando has been putting up on his YouTube channel. And one of his bits was basically like, when you get into writing, you're going to hear the phrase show, don't tell. And as a novice, you should absolutely follow that. But then once you get to like journeyman level, you need to realize there is a time to show and then there's a time to tell. Because if you're making a book, you have a word limit that you're going to have to hit. And showing takes a lot more words, takes a lot more real estate in your book. And you might not always have the time to show. So there are certain times where telling makes a lot more sense. And I think in this case, those narrative moments is Watanabe, or I don't even know if he was the only writer on the series, but it's the writing of the series basically being like, we want to tell this, we want to make sure this is in the show, we don't have the time.
There were 4 different writers on the show.
4 writers. Okay. Was Watanabe one of them?
Yes, Watanabe.
Or did he just direct? Okay.
Watanabe and Dai Sato, who wrote Jamming with Edward, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Brain Scratch from the original Cowboy Bebop. So like good writers, but they didn't have the lead writer of Cowboy Bebop, and that really shows.
So I would really normally be opposed to like being down for a kill quest for a show I haven't watched even a single episode of. And I still think that's the case, but I'm like, we're going to kill quest the show because for the same reason why I haven't watched a single episode, because everyone I know who loves anything Watanabe's done has been sad the entire time Lazarus has been out. A lot of people have watched, a lot of people have had like that hopeful feeling, but it reminds me of my conversations with Tristan when we were watching Star Trek Discovery in its first season of like, maybe there's something like, there's so many good parts to this. Like all the pieces are there of my favorite shows in the world. Why? What's happening? What's happening? And every week I saw people lose their minds slowly but surely. And like, wait, no, is this happening again? No, is this another episode that like, but the so many pieces are so good. And so like, because that was the entire framing of this show to me, and because we agreed to Kill Quest it basically as soon as it came out, in between the three of us.
I mean, not like, as soon as it came out. Through.
Around the time that I think even before my video came out, we were thinking about it. But then, like around the time that I finally had my video done, we were like, "No, we're kill quest in this."
Like we talked about doing it as an episode, and then we were like, "No, it's got to be a kill quest because there's no way it makes the list." Right? It's just it's not like, to be clear, it's not a bad anime. right? It's not.
No.
It's
a solid
it's not even
7
a
out of 10.
mediocre anime. It's a good anime. Not great, but good.
No.
Right? But like, you expect great to amazing from Watanabe. He has never, until now, made something that was not great. That was not at least great.
And
for
so
most audiences, anyway. I mean, I can probably find someone that would like some things. There's big tonal changes in some of his works that I don't think I could find somebody that liked everything he's done.
I mean, I don't think it's wrong to dislike Terror and Resonance, which was a messy show. But I still, like, again, I think about it all the time to this day. So, like, there's so much there to chew on. And I mean, it sounds like there's a lot to chew on with Lazarus, too. I just emotionally, like, I could never
get to chew on it in show or with the show. We have to kind of do it on our own afterwards of being like, hey, wouldn't this been great if, you know...
Man, like,
that's the only framing device I've ever had for this show. And so I'm sorry, dear listeners. I failed you by not giving this show a fair chance. I mean, maybe I will one day.
Miles, it's not your fault. I mean, it is broadly all of our fault because we miscommunicated about the plans for this week.
Even though it kind of always had been the side quest to do it.
Even though it was always the plan.
We kind of that's the other reason why I didn't finish the last 3 episodes, because I was too busy watching Michiko and trying to finish Michiko. And then like I get in and I look at the question of the week as Chloe put it in. And I was like, great. And then I was like, oh wait, what's our side quest today? Oh, right. Whoops.
Whoopsie daisy.
It's fine. And again, like I still stand kind of by my thought in like, I felt like my theory was that the ending wasn't going to matter to a large extent. And from what I'm gathering, it sort of matters. It sort of matters, but not.
I mean, it does, right? Like it's everything that the show's building towards, but it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just that it doesn't hit, right? It crams everything that it's trying to say into one last episode, and like,
does it do it well?
Not really. No, it's the episodes leading up to it are decently exciting. But like, it's just kind of like,
it's got a lot of things there.
It's supposed to, so the final episode is supposed to be like a rumination on all of the themes, and it just hasn't had enough time to really dig into any of them. Right. So
do you know what I think that this is like? This is like a great big pot of stew. And you got the meat, you got the veg, but someone forgot the stew mix, because it's the stew mix that makes the stew. To quote one of my favorite scenes from any Watanabe thing ever. It's kind of.
It's hard to like really nail down why it doesn't work. I feel like I'd have to watch it again, because like you guys were saying, it's got great music from like a lot of really great. I mean, of course, it has great music. Watanabe picked the music. It's got
that at baseline, yes, but I mean also look who's listed for music. They're really good, man. On their own.
The action was choreographed by Chad Stahelski, the director of John Wick, so it's like fantastic, and it's filtered through Watanabe's musical approach to animation. So again, it's really cool. Although I will say it doesn't have that sort of synesthetic vibe as much as Watanabe's other works, where he's doing all the storyboarding or like he's figuring out the choreography with his team, right? You know, do
you think it might then be like a too many cooks in the kitchen sort of thing?
I mean, maybe. I think that if you took specifically all the cooks at Adult Swim out of the kitchen, it would probably be better. I think it would be better if it was a comedy. And like, that's the other thing, right? Like
it would have been better as a comedy, despite like, well, I mean, you could like Bebop kind of proved that you could have like the seriousness of the overall show arc, but still have most of the episodes be comedic in nature.
Well, I mean, Carol and Tuesday has a much more coherent political message, and I think digs deeper into the interesting things that it's trying to say about the how like algorithms are taking over politics. And I think a lot of the things that it's trying to say could have been more effectively said satirically instead of trying to cram it into a dramatic action thriller, right? Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
You know, like
I think he does that better. Well, not only does he do it better, but like if you kind of look at the progression, like going from Bebop to Champloo to Space Dandy, he kind of adds more and more comedic as he's going. It's like he's get more. Not only does he get more comfortable with it, it just seems to be the thing that he wants to do.
Yeah.
And so then to deny him the thing that he wants to do, kind of makes it like I can't assume that he had lost motivation or anything, but I don't know if he would have had the same drive comparatively than what would have happened if he was allowed to make Lazarus comedy.
I don't think it's about the drive. I think it's about like cutting off more than half of his comedic voice, right? Because like the thing about Bebop is it's really funny.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I think about the moments that made me feel shit in Bebop, yeah, there's like the obvious like iconic sad moments, right? But like my favorite memories of Bebop are Mushroom Samba and the thing from the fridge. And
I mean, that episode specifically, like he's very good at little moments of comedy. So like the entire fridge episode is basically an Alien ripoff, but he's able to do things like, Spike's just going to cook meat with a flamethrower. I'm like, that's hilarious. I love that. And then, wait, isn't there a moment in Lazarus where they try to cook things with a flamethrower now that I'm thinking about it? Did they try to? I feel like that was a thing.
I can't remember, but they might have as a reference. It's just like, I mean, the thing is, the no comedy mandate also makes it so much harder to build like affectionate camaraderie between the main characters. Yeah, it's like, you know, like what's the difference between the good Suicide Squad and the bad Suicide Squad movie? It's that the bad Suicide Squad movie takes itself way too goddamn seriously. You know, like
no shark man. Yeah.
I mean, that too.
Well, no, but that's a symptom of the humor. I mean, right?
Yeah. That King Shark. God, I love King Shark so much. I just want to give him a hug.
Final thoughts on Lazarus. We kind of went over most of it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like
there will be Watanabe things on our list, just not this.
Yeah, I guess I guess I'm the only one who can give final thoughts since I'm the only one who fully finished it.
True.
And I think it's, you know, it's like I said, it's a good, not great anime that has interesting things to say and not enough time or the right voice to say them. And it just feels like it was compromised by all of the stuff other people wanted it to be, and Watanabe wasn't able to make exactly what would be in his head, right? He had to filter it through, corporate really wants...
He was busy trying to make a thing that other people wanted to make and not making a thing that he wanted to make.
Yeah, well, I mean... that's just corporate art, you know. That's the eternal.
But I mean, that's worked in his advantage before. Bebop was not what Bandai Namco wanted him to make. They wanted to do something to make their toy line. They wanted Gundam. They wanted Macross. They wanted
to sell some cool spaceships.
That too. They wanted to sell spaceships. They wanted to sell toys, and Bebop did not do that.
But Bebop did. I mean, it did fill its secondary goal, which was to give them Evangelion style prestige. Yeah, I think it's overall Watanabe's weakest anime, which still makes it like
still pretty good.
Top 30 for the year. I'm not sad that I watched it. I'm not sad that I finished it. I just like. In fact, I'm kind of glad that I did, because it's nice seeing, or it's not nice, but it's interesting to see Watanabe not firing on all cylinders for once. To see him just, kind of have to compromise. Like, even like Terror in Resonance, it's definitely divisive, but it's also like no one told that man he couldn't do anything. He literally he literally explained how to take down the government building in Tokyo with legally available pyrotechnics.
Which we don't advocate for.
Which we do not advocate for, and
No,
he doesn't
don't do
advocate for any either. But he did show all of the support pillars that you would want to put. That you would want to put thermite on if you wanted to bring that entire building down.
I don't advocate that anybody builds a bomb, but if you want to build a bomb, here's how you do it.
Literally, just look at these guys doing this. It's so horrible. Look at them right specifically here in this hallway. Do you recognize this hallway, viewers in Tokyo? This hallway. Don't do this. It's illegal to say I want to kill the president of the United States of America.
Our main topic today
is another spiritual successor
to Cowboy Bebop. More of a spiritual successor to Samurai Champloo.
I far more agree with that. I mean, it also helps that Yamamoto also worked on Champloo. But yeah.
Yep.
And Manglobe in general. Just Manglobe.
So back in the day, many years ago, there was this studio called Manglobe, which as of this year is now 10 years gone into the wind.
R.I.P. Manglobe.
They shut down in the middle of making a really good anime called Gangsta.
Well, they finished Gangster technically, but 3 days after the final episode of Gangster left, they declared bankruptcy. Yes,
real tragedy because that show rules.
Yamamoto was a up and coming animator, storyboarder, artist. Working with Watanabe on Champloo. And because of her great work on Champloo, they gave her a chance to lead her own series. So Yamamoto would go on to, after doing this, direct the best Lupin series, probably, A Woman Named Fujikamine.
And this is coming from a really big Lupin fan. So
yeah. And I mean, well, you can even see Lupin DNA in this, which we'll get to in a little bit, but
I mean that's why I call it a spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop, because it's a riff on Lupin.
Well, then it's a spiritual successor to Lupin, as Bebop is also a spiritual successor to
Lupin. It's part of the.
Yeah, exactly.
These things are all in conversation with each other. Absolutely. So Michiko Hatchin takes place in very much not Brazil, even though that's definitely where they are, and where
legally distinct Brazil,
if a bunch of people there had Japanese names,
and everything else was exactly the same.
Mostly, there's a Venice there.
There is a Venice there, so it's nice, and it's in some year that is probably the 80s or 90s, but it's really hard to tell. It's non-committal about everything, and it's about this woman who breaks out of prison, and this orphan girl that she kind of kidnaps, and they together they go on a road trip, and that is the show for 22 episodes. That is fundamentally it. They are both theoretically looking for the same guy. They're trying to find,
but the reasonings for doing so are different.
Yeah, so it's Michiko's ex-lover, Hana's father,
and Hana ends up going by Hatchin, which is a very important thing that happens in the show, because this show talks a lot about gender without ever talking about gender, or quite so forwardly talking about gender. This is
Hana gets mistaken for a boy a lot, like almost every other episode. Sometimes,
pretty much,
it feels like it's a very common thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the name kind of leans into that a little bit more. It helps kind of keep things confusing or arbitrary for many of looker honors. So Michiko Hatchin is a road series. It is 22 episodes of a road trip to find the bum dad, who Michiko thinks is waiting for her for most of the series, and
who may or may not be alive.
Is not. And he may or may not be alive. Most people say he's dead.
Yeah, because he was rumored to be in a bus that exploded like 10 years prior.
And Hatchin's down for the ride because she did not like her foster parents or her foster situation.
They were quite bad. Not the best parents, I would say.
They were the stereotypical orphan family of we're taking on orphans for tax reasons or for monetary reasons, despite the fact that they were like a minister and his wife.
I feel like if the Dursleys saw how they were treating that child, they'd be like, "What the hell, man?
What the hell, man?" Yeah, it was more in line. Like, I mean, as I was watching this, I'm also watching anime from this season, and I ended up comparing it to like the the backstory information for Anne Shirley of like how her time in the foster system was prior to ending up on Green Gables. And I'm like, yeah, very similar to that.
You should watch that prequel anime.
I should.
But I mean, it is kind of like the typical abused orphan backstory. The family has a biological kid that they treat much better, and the adopted kid's basically a servant that they hate and treat like crap, and is just there so that they can collect money from the government.
And then when he realizes, hey, I can collect insurance if she dies, he starts to go after her, like Saw style, at the very end of the first episode.
Very bad.
Was that a 2 episode? I can't remember. Anyway, either way, doesn't matter past the intro of the show because they're long gone then because this is a road trip film, and we move on very quickly.
Yeah, the only characters in the first couple episodes who matter are Michiko Hatchin and
the detective lady,
and the big Afro lesbian detective lady who wants Michiko to step on her and will step on Michiko to make that happen.
Childhood friends too. That's important.
Longtime childhood friend. Yeah.
Who end up on opposite sides of the law and act like Lupin and Zenigata, which is why 100% Yamamoto got the Lupin gig after this.
I mean, it's that and how well she animates buggy style police cars crashing into each other.
Yeah.
the most Lupin thing.
Well, except Lupin normally doesn't get his own scooter bike like that. He's normally isn't Lupin's normal ride like this yellow buggy?
The Fiat 500, yeah, in a lot of things.
Yeah,
and it's not always yellow, but usually yellow.
But like, very, very, very European cop cars in car chases.
In not Brazil.
The Lupin aesthetic.
In not Brazil.
Tropical Lupin.
And so this show is honestly, when people ask me for anime recommendations, they're like, we want something with a strong female character. We want something that is not fan servicey, but like lets women be, beautiful and sexy without being sexualized. We want complicated stories. We want to laugh and we want to cry. We want things that you couldn't show on kids' TV. I'm like, oh, so you want to watch Michiko Hatchin? Because it's everything that anime fans say they want, and then they don't fucking watch this show. And it drives me crazy because it's everything people say they want. And do you know what? It's really good at it every episode. So I recommended this show because I love Michiko Hatchin. I basically say that every 4 years, 2 things happen in America. 1, an American election happens. And then 2, Yamamoto makes a show so that I can not worry about the pain of an American election. But she hasn't done that for the last 2 elections, and I've been suffering because this is how I got through the 3 prior. Anyway.
So I do want to ask you, I know this is a side tangent, Miles. You are far more in tune to like production side of things and things that are going on. Do you have any idea what Yamamoto has been doing since Yuri on Ice?
If I knew, I couldn't tell you.
I can speculate she was probably working on the Yuri on Ice movie for a really long time, and then when that fell through, who knows?
Because I just thought it was really odd that like she did all of these things a lot during the 2000s and the 2010s. Yuri on Ice comes out, and then she drops off the face of the planet.
She did some openings. She did the P5 opening. She did the what's it called? Bet, the anime adaptation of Bet. What's that show called? Bet. Let's just call it Bet because that's a much better title.
Yeah. Because that's a much better. Yeah.
She did the opening for that. So Yamamoto is one of the greatest visual artists of our generation. She is probably the best storyboarder alive, and it shows in this show because anime. It came at the perfect time. So this show came out in 2008, right? So the DigiPaint era, we finally figured out how to paint things digitally, and this was happening the year or maybe the year before Japan went to digital TV. So it's one of the first beautiful anime that's widescreen. And it's still of the era where you could have anime with original stories and where you could have original anime with 20 plus episodes. So it's like the perfect time for all these different trends in the world of anime to make the perfect show. And
you can't make a show like this nowadays.
How do you do? So Like, people want shows where the characters have development, but you can still enjoy an individual episode. Gotcha. Right? There's a bunch of little 2-episode arcs, but also each individual episode is good and develops the character just enough so that it doesn't feel like if there had been another 10 episodes, it would have felt like, oh, we're kind of repeating ourselves. Now, people argue and complain and have complained for like 15 years that people get kidnapped too much, and there's like the same like couple scenarios that keep happening throughout the show, and they're not wrong.
I mean, Michiko and Hatchin like are breaking up for like 4 straight episodes before they break up, and
then they get back together, and then they break up again, and then something else happens, and then Hatchin goes, "I hate you," and runs off. And then Michiko's like, "I don't know what I'm going to do about it." And then she goes after her, maybe sometimes, or sometimes Hatchin comes back. And so and then at the end of the day, they're riding off into the sunset again.
And Hatchin's just there. Yeah. Dude, the episode
sometimes
where
Hatchin goes and gets a job.
Where she thinks that Michiko's left her, and then she's just back, and Michiko's like wasted on the floor, and she's like, "What time is it?" And the guy's like, "Oh, it's midnight." And she's like, "Oh, I'm 10 years old now." I'm like, man. So the show is very subtle, but also it feels very Bebop-esque. It is not afraid to be funny. It is not afraid to be really dark. And it does all the things that like schlocky anime of the era and anime since and TV shows since have done. Like, we got gangsters, we got hookers, we got all sorts of like lowlives and thugs and things that people love to like make very melodramatic things around. And it treats all these characters with humanity. And while the gang war stuff is not all that interesting, it's probably the worst part of the show to me. Which usually it's like,
I wouldn't necessarily say the gang war themselves are like a problem. It's just that that's not the focus of the show, because it is neither Michiko nor Hatchin. But then also it's just kind of hard to follow, because you feel like you're kind of expected to pay attention to like who's who and what this actually means in a grander scale, only to really realize it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't largely affect Michiko and Hatchin. They just happen to be living through part of it.
We get Atsuko for, I think, like 7 or 8 episodes, the cop, the rival cop. And I would have really loved to see her 1 or 2 more times.
Yeah, there was like kind of a big section where she like disappeared for a bit, and then she shows back up and was like, "Oh, right. Yeah, you're a thing."
Well, that's because she decided to do something better with her life. And then she got sucked back in. Which
soon
is actually,
as I get out, they pull me back in.
I mean, her solo episode is actually like one of my favorites of the whole series, with that girl who reminds her of Michiko. Like that's...
They like doing that bit a lot too. Not only, hey, the girl that reminds her of Michiko, hey, here's the lady that runs the circus child abduction agency whose name is also Michiko.
And used to be hot, but now isn't.
And now, yeah. And
okay, like, I will say, like, that episode specifically was like, to me, that's the low point of the series in terms of writing. Because it's super contrived. We just have
to get on a hot air balloon, Geoff. You don't understand. We need to have a chase that involves a hot air balloon.
I mean, that's not, rule of cool applies. That's fine. What bugs me is like, Hatchin's friend's been with this circus for like 10 years, being like actively with them, and like neither she nor her motorcycle gymnast partner were at all aware that it's a giant human trafficking front. Like,
could happen to anyone, Geoff.
It's just like it feels really left field and forced. It feels like
the thing is, anything in the show that feels contrived is not the relationship between Michiko and Hatchin, or between them and other people. And so the plot elements that are a little more contrived don't bother me as much, but they are certainly there. It's just really hard, I think, to make in 23 minutes something that justifies all the set pieces.
Yeah.
Right. And they mostly get there. I think they really do. But you're right. Like, people have a lot of fair criticisms of the show, but for a freshman outing.
Oh yeah,
even ignoring that, I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think it's as impressive a freshman outing as Cowboy Bebop, but close.
Was Cowboy Bebop? No, I wouldn't necessarily call Cowboy Bebop a freshman outing.
Macross
Not in the
Plus
same
is
way.
a much better freshman outing.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Because Macross Plus is also better than Bebop.
Macross Plus is also the reason why Bebop exists.
I still have to watch Macross Plus. That's fair. That's
You do.
the one.
You
That's the
really
one
do.
Watanabe thing I haven't seen. But
not only was it Watanabe's inbuilt, that was Yoko Kanno's like real big break, and like, oh my god, she is so good in that.
But I mean, like the thing is, there's a difference between doing an original anime and doing,
Macross is original.
No, Macross Plus was that's a franchise. That's a very different.
It technically wasn't a franchise at the time. Like, yeah, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross did exist beforehand,
and Macross 2,
and Macross.
But like Watanabe himself considers Cowboy Bebop to be like, this is where I finally got to use all of these ideas I've been building up for like.
Well, it was his
ever.
first original anime, the first time that like he was handed the keys to the kingdom, essentially, or rather, he was handed the spade, being like, "Go make your own kingdom," and he did it.
But you can see why. You can see how much that Sayamamoto learned both from her brief stint with Kon at Madhouse and from Watanabe in the way that this show is directed. Again, I mentioned the shadows earlier, but like they make that 16:9 look fucking good every minute. Like this impeccably boarded. Everything looks like a Hollywood movie from like the golden era Hollywood.
It's a combination of Satoshi Kon's eye for angles and Watanabe's sense of timing. She is like undeniably one of the most talented directors working today. I don't know if I would say absolutely categorically the single greatest storyboarder alive, because like, I mean, we just got done talking about Odd Taxi.
She's still alive too.
Yeah. She's still alive. Like there's a lot of really good storyboarders working today.
Well, there's a difference between alive and working.
She's working.
Is he still working though?
Yeah, he made that vampire thing a couple years ago.
Okay.
I like love.
The segue that I wanted to make, since you brought it up before we lose it too much. You mentioned before we started on main topic stuff, you wanted to talk about Miles a little bit on like Hana and trans related issues, and I was very curious also that like I completely forgot that Yamamoto worked with Kon, because the first thing that popped into my head when you mentioned all of that was just like, oh, how can I tie this into Tokyo Godfathers? And Kon had an entire character named Hana, who is the gayest character that I've ever seen, and I love Hana so much. Hana is great in Tokyo Godfathers.
Well, I don't really read this Hana Hachiko as trans or anything. I read her as someone who is a 10-year-old kid who wishes she wasn't a woman, wishes she wasn't a girl because she feels limited by being a girl. And she just feels frustrated at being a girl.
Okay.
I don't think she even hates the fact that she's a woman. She just feels frustrated at the limitations that being a girl means for her in society.
Lack of power in life.
Yeah.
Okay. I misinterpreted what you meant. Thank you for clarifying.
But also, I think that that's so interesting because, like, Michiko is like such a great, on her face, she's something of a paradox, right? She's a strong woman who's like, all out there and does exactly what she wants, and yet she also still has some of the same weaknesses that we usually put on different kinds of female characters. She's the femme fatale, and also, I don't want to say like the trad wife, but like fundamentally, she's doing this all for a man.
She can cook. Did you see those eggs? Did you see those eggs?
She's if Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine did the fusion dance.
Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely. And she's the perfect main character for a TV show, right? Like, you want to follow her. She fucks up all the time. She is a bad person.
Yeah, no, Geoff's thing... Yeah. Geoff's thing comparison makes a lot of sense, because she can fight like Spike, but she is also the one most likely to go into horse racing, lose all her money, get a tiny bit of booze, and just black out drunk for the rest of the day.
Yeah. She is simultaneously a fail son and failed daughter, and like combining the awesomeness of both of those characters and their just complete ineptitude.
It's like attaching toast to a cat and just watching perpetual motion work.
Yeah,
but she is both a a argument for and against women can do everything, right? Because she can do everything, and it's a problem.
And then Michiko's just, or Hatchin's just trying to keep going.
Michiko, like the way she uses her femininity and then just like relies on her femininity is such a like what's that term? Toxic positivity for like for gender. Like she's a toxic positive feminine figure.
Yeah.
And I love her. I love it because the show is about these topics without ever hitting you over the head with it. It's never self-righteous about the fact that like we're talking about gender issues. You're never gonna feel that. But there's like a very strong like feminist core to the show that you feel in its soul.
I like there's a lot of episodes where they'll just like be casually going like, "Oh, have you had your period yet?" And that's just like part of the conversation that these two girls are having, right? And I like a lot of the episodes I would say have some not powerful but consistent understated dudes suck energy.
Like that one doctor that tried to convince them that he healed Michiko by pulling a fish out of her.
No, the doctor rules. The Dr. God. I love Dr. God. But no, like that was a great episode. That was very
No,
trippy.
it was.
But like that, you know, the circus acrobat girl, there's that little guy, the guy with the glasses who's got the big stalkery crush on her. Like he doesn't seem like the worst dude. He actually seems like he really cares about her, but he still like goes about approaching her in a really sleazy way that gets Hatchin to smack him upside the head for it, right?
Yep.
You know, like even are we getting into spoilers?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, even when they finally meet Hiroshi
at the end.
And he's, you know, like he's a flaky piece of crap. He is the flaky piece of crap that everything that we've learned about him so far indicates that he would be, and that all of his friends have deluded themselves into thinking he's not. I really love that moment where Satoshi is like telling Hatchin this story about the kind of guy her dad was, and she's like, no, he wasn't. Like he's just like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't actually listening to you. He was just thinking about like what he's gonna have for dinner next. Like he's
and having not even met him, Hatchin pegged him so hard.
He's exactly the same kind of dude as the husband of that lady who ran the salon in the Venice town and like made her own cigarettes. That like smooth operator who like goes up without a word, just like lights the cigarette. Has Michiko melting in the palm of his hand, and he's a piece of crap.
It's probably why, because they're very similar archetypal characters, and that just works. That is her. That is like the type of guy she apparently wants, and so she fell for him so hard.
Yeah, because like yeah, I don't know. She Michiko is just like attracted.
She has a type.
Yeah. Guys who are bad for her.
Which is also why she should get into a relationship with the detective cop lady.
Yes.
Pasko, yes. Yeah. They belong together. Man, I love that little thing in the flashback where they're kids, where like she just stands on her back to like, I forget what she's even doing, but she like climbs up on Atsuko's back, and Atsuko's just like, like she's really enjoying it. It's just, there's so many subtle character flourishes in this show that convey
that's good storyboarding for you.
Personality and
good
it is good storyboarding. Good storytelling too. There is this is kind of the polar opposite of Lazarus, what we were talking about with Lazarus, where Michiko and Hatchin is almost pure show don't tell. Everything that we learn about the gang war is peripheral, right? Like
because they're not involved directly.
Like, I mean, they are, because everybody involved in the gang war is either trying
Thinks
to
that Michiko
kill
started it
Michiko
all,
or use Michiko as leverage, right?
And she ended up in jail somehow,
and
for some reason.
And Hiroshi disappearing is related to the gang war.
Yeah,
but it is at the periphery, right? Like all of this stuff about Phantasma, which was apparently a major player a while ago, but like. Here,
like the amount of times that they brought it up and it kind of felt like it was supposed to be like this big reveal and it meant nothing.
But they were just one fat guy at a bullfighting arena, which another great
that
episode.
Was such
like
a
every
good scene.
Episode.
Oh my God. When Michiko's like fighting the bull.
Every action set piece. But the bullfight, the way that like Michiko goes in like completely like confident in it, almost dies several times, just is nowhere near as good at bullfighting as she thought she would be going in there.
Surprise.
But like, every episode does have a really good set piece, like.
Or like the former mob boss. I think it was Satoshi that ended up. Maybe it was it was something. The former mob boss that like used to be a big thing, and now he's just like some old dude with his wife and kid.
The Manabe. The guy who likes.
Because that's one of those, the intros, and you meet him and you're like, okay, what's the importance of this? And then you see the backstory and you're like, oh.
I mean, that whole interaction is like No Country for Old Men tier.
That's more like that's more like this is the consequence of your birth.
Kinda.
What was the Char line?
No, blame
this on the circumstances of your birth. I
guess it's not quite No Country for Old Men because he does have a personal vendetta against him. But like the tension in that scene, when he's holding up the family and everything, it all feels like he's being like, "Hey, friendo."
Can we just appreciate how well developed characters who only show up for 2 episodes are? Or 1 episode?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like they start off enough like certain archetypes that you can kind of get into them, and then the more you spend with them, the further away from the archetype that they get. And I love that. I love it's like, here's the jumping on point, so you kind of get them, and they're not just the thing, but then we can add to that.
Well, I think part of the brilliance of this series is how it uses the parallels between Michiko and Hatchin and all of the different characters that they meet to expand on those characters by using past episodes about Michiko and Hatchin and what they've and their character development as kind of a shorthand. So you like see like one little thing that you're like, oh, that was like that episode a couple, that was like what, Michiko or Hatchin. And you're like, okay, I now understand this character relative to these 2 characters we've spent so much time with.
And also just like the amount of time given to certain characters when you didn't really need to. So like the episode where the B-plot is Hatchin's trying to go get medicine and she has to rowboat her way over to the doctor to do it. And then she gets intercepted by these 3 punk kids on their boat.
Punks, yeah.
And then they rob her. And then she goes back in the middle of a rainstorm and fights them again. And then they have the fight to go get all of her stuff in a bag at the bottom of the lake. And she doesn't make it because she runs out of air. But then the guys, because she won, they're like, no, we're going to bring her back to her hotel.
That is one of the...
They didn't have to do that.
Ironically, that little kid who robbed her is one of the few dudes in this show that doesn't suck, right?
And the gay dudes.
Yeah, all the gay dudes don't suck.
Which, by the way,
actually,
I love... No, so there are like at least 2 gay dudes in the show. One of them is just a huge asshole.
Well...
Well,
what do you mean? Well, yeah, there's more than 2.
Yeah, but there's like that get a lot of screen time, right? But like,
okay,
for 2008, we still don't get very many anime with gay characters where them being gay is not their only defining trait. It's just kind of like it's interesting to see it in this context.
Who are you saying are the gay dudes, right? Because I don't think that the actor, I'm pretty sure the actor.
No, not the actor.
Is straight. Yeah.
Are you talking about the literal guy that pops out? Michiko! At like episode 4 or 5?
Yeah, there's a guy at episode 4, and then there's like one at the very end too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember the second one. There might be a third. there's a pretty heavy implication that Satoshi was in love with Hiroshi.
Yeah. Well,
I could see that.
So I definitely buy that. I heard that argument like in the Annie blogging era, like 10 years ago, where people had like WordPresses still about anime and did reviews. It was a good era of anime criticism.
Good times.
That was a popular thing. And I think that that's right. And that's, again, another place where the show is very subtle and is just giving you just enough of everything. And I would buy that. Satoshi's one of my favorite characters in the show. He's really interesting, like, and gets more development than most people who aren't like the main three characters.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't, like, you don't expect it when you first see him. Like, he seems like he's just the Joker. The guy under him seems like he's the Joker. And he, like the actual Joker. And then Satoshi seems like someone using being the Joker to intimidate people.
Hey, now you got to get on this transit line, and then that transit line, and then this transit line. Are you going to make your connection in time?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. What's that guy? I'm blanking on that guy's name.
There's so many characters in this show. That's one of the biggest challenges here.
Hard.
Like, we had our thank you, producer Chloe, put together like the names and pictures of everyone, and I'm like, yeah, there's like 40 characters whose names are relevant to discuss the show.
Yeah, Shinsuke Sase Rodriguez. What a name. Yeah, Shinsuke is the Joker. And but it's also interesting because like Shinsuke seems to think of, or seemed to have at one point thought of Satoshi as a real friend, which is like rough because he was like, oh, I'll just apologize and it'll be all right. And it's like Shinsuke is another really interesting character, right? Where he's like legitimately as crazy as Satoshi pretends to be. There's just, like every episode has a standout character who you're never going to see again, who's immensely memorable. The old assassin guy, Jair. That whole, like, I didn't expect that episode to go the way that it did at all. But like, actually, that's another point in favor of this being a spiritual successor to Bebop instead of Samurai Champloo. Episode where the assassins are chasing down the main character.
You'll have to see it.
Well, I mean,
the thing is actually,
I guess that does happen a lot, kind of in Samurai Champloo.
In Champloo,
but they're samurai. Not.
This does feel like prestige TV, right? In that it's of this era, like 2008, like in the Mad Men vein of like every episode is more or less episodic, but it is all following a larger plot.
Yeah.
At the right, like it's got the right, like the dials are at the right level to me for the perfect TV experience. Because when I thought about this before I rewatched the show for the pod, I'm like, did it really need to be 22 episodes? I feel like it kind of dragged in the middle. And then rewatching it, I'm like, nope, it needed to be 20. Like, not only did I feel like the road trip environment like was justified every single episode, and it like every episode was really important to their growth, every little plot felt larger to what the whole show was trying to say.
Like, if all you wanted was the story of like what happens when/if they finally catch up to Hiroshi, you could skip half the show, but you really shouldn't. That's the least interesting part of the show, is when they finally catch up to Hiroshi. Like that, I didn't care that much when they finally caught up to Hiroshi. That was not like a part of the show that I thought was worthwhile. Like, they spent the whole show trying to find the guy, but then when they finally did, it was like, okay. And then he leaves like almost immediately after with some new girlfriend. Yeah. So like,
because that's what he does, because he's a coward.
Yeah.
But like even at that point, right? You're spending, like, as the show goes on, they get in progressively more trouble with the police. And so you feel like a heightened anxiety as you go through it. And I think watching this all in like within the course of a week really helped with that increasing anxiety of like, there's going to have to be a reckoning. Like, they are not going to be able to get out of this cleanly, no matter what they do at this point, because it keeps getting worse and worse. And like, Michiko can only be on TV so many times
before it starts to become an even bigger problem than it already is.
People, I mean, people in this story are generally not concerned enough about being on TV, though. Like Hiroshi, for a guy who's like laying low and trying to get away from his past, sure is not good at staying hidden. I mean, he does it like he stays a step ahead of them all the way to the end, but like
just barely.
I really like the episode where they met his tomato farmer wife.
Yeah.
/ were they in a telenovela? Like it's hard to pin down exactly the nature of what they were doing because Michiko was having fever dream hallucinations the whole time. And it's not 100.
Yeah, we're not sure what was actually fully real and what she just kind of hallucinated.
The actor guy kind of acknowledged the tomato thing, but like again, it was in such a way that like, did you just see him on the farm or film with like? But so Geoff and I watched the show a couple months ago, the first 2 episodes, I think, and I think that the first 2 episodes are not the greatest introduction to the show.
I remember watching it, and I remember being pretty into it because like the prison break sequence is pretty cool, but it like. In retrospect, it does feel like the weakest episode just because Michiko and Hatchin aren't together yet and they're not on the road. And the road trip is like really what's so interesting about the story.
The most interesting parts of like episode 1 you end up learning are not like really relevant to the thing at all. Like if you only watched episode 1, you'd be like, is Michiko Hatchin's mom or something? That was like kind of a somewhat big question mark at the first episode that just slowly gets dissolved as the show goes on.
Or something indeed.
Or something.
But I bring this up because the thing is, I knew that Geoff would like this show because it just does all of the like film school stuff so well in a way that you don't actually see that much in animated medium, right? Like it just feels like a very like tightly directed show. But Tristan, I was so excited for you to watch the show because it has that silly 2000s style writing and storytelling that you get so into. And I like, I just feel like it has something for every kind of
anime. I love me some Manglobe, man.
I mean, like
so much of Manglobe stuff I absolutely enjoy.
Right?
And I love so much. Like I can't wait to get you guys to watch Ergo Proxy if you have not already.
It really does have something for every anime fan, though. Like
it does.
The thing is, like, even the Gooners, Michiko is one of the hottest women you will ever see in animation, period. You know?
Yeah, but she's not like for the male gaze in the same way that like normally.
Are we gonna have a Michiko versus schoolyard Yoko Littner again? Are we going to have this discussion?
I mean, yeah, like, no, I mean, the thing is she's mostly in control of her sexuality, except when she falls on her ass like a dumbass and flashes her panties at the camera, which happens not infrequently.
No, not infrequently. That happens a reasonable amount of times.
It's not male gazy, but it is like, God damn, I love hot women so much.
Yes.
Sayo Yamamoto. Like,
I honestly feel like she just likes hot people, especially after watching Yuri on Ice. She just likes hot people, which
big respect.
Mood.
Yeah.
There is kind of an interesting, you know, like on the dude suck side of the spectrum. It's kind of interesting how all of the dudes who seem like they suck the most kind of end up being the ones who suck the least. Like that one creepy journalist dude who like keeps trying to bust the child trafficking ring at the circuit, and they make like a big joke out of how incompetent he is, and then like it was completely correct. He's a good dude. He's a good dude trying to stop child sex traffickers. He just seems really arrogant about
well, he is really arrogant about it. Like, he has this whole, like, I am going to save the children, but also, hey, here's my camera. Like, very social media, hey, look at all the good shit that I'm doing to this world sort of thing for the clicks and for the clout. But yeah.
And then, also Jair, right? Like like they paint him as this like super scary monster. I love that moment where where Satoshi calls up Shinsuke. When Satoshi calls up Shinsuke and he's like, I sent Jair after you. And Shinsuke is just like, why would you do that, man? Like he completely breaks his crazy and he's like, that's so not cool. Which immediately gives you the sense of like how scary this guy is. But then at the end, right? Like the assassin is like,
it has like the vibes of, why did you kill my son? Well, because he killed John Wick's dog. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, like, and then the other assassin in that episode, right? The one who's like, I would never kill a woman. And then like he ends up just doing whatever for money. And then Jair, who seems like this like completely mercenary prick, at the end, he's like, nah, I like you. We had a good gunfight. We're friends now. I'm not going to kill you. Like there's so many just great little twists on expectations every episode, really. There's someone who's not who you think they will be.
Do you know what I think a good word for it is? Fresh. It feels very much in the vein of like, what Tristan was saying, the Man Globe 2000s anime, but still feels fresh today, 15,
I miss Man
20
Globe
years later.
So much. What? That's the vibe I got after like watching this. Is like, I miss Man Globe. Because like I didn't watch Michiko Hatchin when it came out. I watched Samurai Champloo. I watched Ergo Proxy. I even watched Gangsta when it came out. I did not watch Michiko Hatchin, and now that I have, I'm like, I miss that time. So much.
Do you know something we haven't talked about?
What?
The music. So here's where Watanabe was most involved because he produced the soundtrack.
To the surprise of no one who's watched this show, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And it is honestly pretty close to Bebop's in my estimation.
To the point where episodes are titled kind of like named after songs, like they do in Bebop.
I mean, the opening I think is right there next to Tank.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this opening, and the music episode to episode it feels like, wow, they really went out of their way to give us 22 different episodes worth of music that are all so vibesy and like for this specific show that hit this specific note.
Man, the opening theme, like the animation in addition to the music, I think I might like the opening more than Bebop's opening. Like animation wise.
Having only just like gotten to watching it, I don't know if I would put it on that level yet, but I would say it's as good a jazz song as Tank. I
like it just about as much, but I don't think it's quite as good.
Okay,
I think
we're compositionally, you can. But
we're fiddling now.
Yeah, like I'm not a music theory guy, but like I am just thinking, as we're talking about it, I hear the main theme playing in my head, and it's like it's a real good time. I am gonna go watch this OP again just to like vibe with it, right? And
precisely, yeah.
And I like the animation and the story it tells even more than Bebop's. And I think Bebop's is one of the greatest openings of all time. So it's
very high praise, yes.
Yeah.
So one interesting thing for me on this rewatch is I liked it more. So this used to be like one of my favorite anime, but it was never a top 10 contender. And it's still not, to be clear. But I think I rated it, in the 40s. Like, yeah. I like it pretty close, actually. Like Yuri on Ice, Fujiko Mine, and Michiko Hatchin are all within like
right next to each other.
10 spots of each other on my list. Because I like them all about the same. Okay. But I just kind of feel like I need to move all of them up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if I would put them in that order.
Well, I don't know what order I put them in at this point because now
you have to rewatch them.
Well, it's like just those three, I think, in my head, and I really need to rewatch Fujiko Mine, but I would probably put Michiko Hatchin in the middle of those three, with Yuri on Ice just below, and Michiko and Fujiko just above.
Me too. The point being, Lupin the Third, the woman named Fujiko Mine, is still probably my favorite of the three, but I think I really do need to move them all up because watching this again made me realize just what a masterful piece of storytelling it is.
Yeah.
And made me really appreciate it for all the things it does that no other piece of media I've ever seen gets this combination of things right. Right? Like perfect directing, great character, like perfect characters, like all these different elements that are so meaningful to me in the specific way they're done. It just feels like an essential piece of anime.
Yeah.
So I noticed that Geoff put it on his list after watching it pretty recently, probably.
Where'd I put it?
You put it in the 80s, but I think you just put it where you could put it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did that right after we watched the first episode, just because I was like,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I didn't have it on mine at all because I only finished watching it recently, and I don't think I would have put it on the list beforehand. That doesn't make sense to me.
But you two had not seen this before, so is this list material, guys?
Yes.
I think it's list material for sure. I think it's like...
So I know where I would put it.
Relative to everything we've watched so far?
Yeah. But I don't know if that'll be where it ends up ultimately.
And where's that?
It seems really high, but I was feeling more of the Princess Jellyfish Odd Taxi range.
Wow.
So it's valid. You know, I don't... And it is your first time watching it, so it's not...
That was my first time watching it. Literally watched the final episode today.
Same.
So it is possible that maybe I'm just overshooting it very high and we need to drop it down a couple of pegs, but
recency
I'm so
bias.
happy.
Recency bias.
Can I just say, Tristan, tell me more.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear you liked it this much. You're putting it over like Takopi and Dungeon Meshi?
Yeah.
Talk more.
I don't know if I'm going to put it over Jellyfish. I wouldn't put it over like Mononoke. Definitely not over Frieren. But like it's it's the kind of thing of like, I don't know if I would put it. I don't think I would put it above Jellyfish. I'm not even certain I would want to put it above Odd Taxi, but it's like in that range. That's kind of where I would expect to put it.
I would definitely put it below Apocalypse Hotel. For me, at least.
Well, yes, but Apocalypse Hotel is like your favorite anime of this year right now.
Yes.
Which you are also watched at the same time. So you're comparing them because they were both shows that you watched this year.
Very recently, yeah.
Yeah.
And like... But like, I wouldn't put it that far below it. Like,
would you put it
Really,
above
Geoff?
Takopi?
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
like-
so excited you guys both liked it this much.
Yeah, the Taco P first slam dunk range feels about right. Like maybe below Dungeon Meshi, but like just below if it's below.
What did you think we were gonna say, Miles? Did you think we were gonna put it down in like the panty and stocking?
I
Cleopatra
mean, Miles
range?
knew that both of us would like it, but Miles didn't expect it to.
He didn't
like,
expect us to like it this much.
Yeah,
I'm just so, because like, to be honest, I'm moving it up to like the Odd Taxi range on my personal list, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So like, it's going to be in the mid 20s for me is where I think it needs to be.
I see. I'm struggling to place it because I had a rough time watching it this week. To be honest, like it was just I have a lot going on. I have been trying very hard to make my "What's So Great About Dawn to Dawn" video, which will hopefully be out by the time this is out, unless I want to just unless I really screwed up. But like, so I had to squeeze watching this in between a lot of other work, and I've been exhausted the whole week, so I wasn't in the best headspace to appreciate it.
Okay. But I mean, even still, with that context, you saying that it's even in Dungeon Meshi range is pretty high praise.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is, like my enjoyment of this watch through was like around my enjoyment of. Oh, actually, no. I guess I want to rank it below Project A-ko because I enjoyed Project A-ko so much more. But I enjoyed watching Project A-ko more than almost anything on this list, even though enjoyment and quality are not the same thing.
Are not the same.
So it's like, it's tricky because I feel like there's some lows to it, right? Not necessarily in terms of direction or acting or any of that, but in terms of the actual storytelling, I feel like there are some weak points where it drags. The circus thing, for example, their breakup could have been a couple episodes shorter. I'm not saying I want it to be, because every episode that they spend breaking up is fun and like they go to an interesting place, and the fictional country and not Brazil is a very, very interesting place to explore. But like, there's slow points, right? You know, but still.
Yeah. So then hearing that, Miles, having been the one to bring it to the list in and of itself, where do you think? Because I was thinking Jellyfish Odd Taxi Range. Geoff is more down by like A-ko Cromartie.
Well, no, I'm not down there.
Is he?
I right now I'm like Takopi Dungeon Meshi.
You're Takopi Dungeon Meshi.
That's where I am. Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is around the same level as Dungeon Meshi and Takopi. So I'd put it right in the middle of those two personally. Or I'm okay with putting it above Takopi.
Because I would have assumed, Miles, that you would want it immediately under Royal Space Force, if for no other reason than to not dump Royal Space Force down another.
Oh no, I thought about saying you can put it wherever you want if you move Royal Space Force above Dungeon Meshi, but I don't think either of you would ever do that.
No,
not in this not for this trade. Maybe for a different trade in the future, but not this trade.
Man, I just thought about how sad you got when you found out that Sungwon thinks it's boring.
Yeah. Well, you guys really liked Michiko Hatchin, and I love these two girls so much. So
they're good.
You'll get over it. It
makes up for it a little bit. But yeah, that was hard to hear someone talk about that. Yep.
Okay. So if Miles would put it directly in Takopi Originals, Takopi Range and Dungeon Meshi, Geoff's about the same, but I would put it higher. Would that mean statistically we would put it like just under Slam Dunk on the top end of Takopi?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
Dungeon Meshi's gonna get a redux. Don't you worry, Geoff.
It will.
Yeah. No. Dungeon.
We've already said that it will.
All I'm just. Yeah.
Or do you think that we really can't put it above Takopi?
I'm just thinking, right? Like I'm thinking, like, it's very, to me, it's very in contention for Takopi's slot, right? Which is high praise, right? That's very high praise for an anime on this list, right? Like,
I mean, I can just say that I would rather have it higher than Takopi because I will never watch Takopi again. But I also know that I can't keep using that as a metric to keep dumping Takopi down every single time something goes up against it.
Right now, my heart of hearts, Takopi is still above this.
Okay.
But I feel much more like I love Michiko Hatchin in a way that like I will never love Takopi, right?
Yeah.
Like, as depressing as the show can be, and it deals with some real dark shit, right? Like it goes to really heavy places. I feel so much joy.
It doesn't go as dark as Takopi
though. What does, right?
What does?
You need a little can of candies, like a tin of candies, to go as dark as Takopi, and that's not even as dark as Takopi, to be honest.
Yeah. What's as dark as Takopi? The Serbian film?
Oh, you mean, are you talking Come and See, the Russian one? That one's as dark as Takopi.
Yeah. Isn't the
Serbian film? Oh, sorry. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it's called. Or it's like the Human Condition trilogy is probably as dark as Takopi from what I've heard. Yeah.
I think the Serbian film's a snuff film. I might be remembering the wrong. I was just trying to meme
thinking about the same thing.
I was trying to, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. I was just trying to meme. With the darkest film I could think of. What's as dark as Takopi?
Come and See. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Russian war film. Yeah. No, Grave of the Fireflies is not.
I know we've had this discussion.
Doesn't do it though, and I just don't think so. Well, no,
No.
I don't think it's as dark. Not about goodness. Anyway,
So let me put it this way: since we seem to be having a bit of a hard time with it, should we just put it directly under Taco P?
Yeah, I think that's a safe place to put it. Yeah.
if you want to put it above Slam Dunk, I'm willing. And Geoff wants to.
I'd do it, but that's on Geoff.
Let's put it between Slam Dunk and Taco P.
Okay.
I feel like Tristan's newfound immense love of it and Miles's growing love for it probably validates that. And I'll probably like it more when I have time to sit down and watch it at my own pace.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was just like,
had a lot of stuff.
It just wasn't the best
watching experience,
viewing experience. Just because I mean, like it's been a lot of stuff on YouTube and then a lot of distracting stuff in the real world happening that is hard to not think about. Like given the options, I would much rather have watched this particular week. Would much rather have watched some light escapist nonsense that isn't super heavy and full of gun violence and it has not been a good week.
Well, I'm glad that yet another show with a lot of child abuse and pedophilia is almost a certain lock for our list. So.
I mean, I wouldn't say there's a lot of pedophilia.
No, hints of, allusions to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just the circus episode, and then,
just really the circus episode.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Well,
but child abuse is all through.
Child abuse is a huge theme. Yeah,
I mean, Michiko kicks Hatchin like almost every episode.
I will. One thing I really want to give it credit for. This is one of the few endings. One of the few the characters grew up and had kids endings that like works. I think.
Does it?
Oh, I hate the ending.
Yeah, no, I don't think that works. Not only that, but like, there's so much about that ending that just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm going to go catch up with Michiko. Oh, I'm going to hitchhike with this truck. Now I own this truck and I'm just driving this truck now. Like, what was that?
She learned it from Michiko.
No, not the driving of the truck, the ownership of the truck. She's hitchhiking on a truck.
She learned how to convince a truck driver to give her truck from Michiko. I mean, I don't think she owns the truck now. I think she was just like, hey, I'm going to drive out a ways. Yeah, while that guy partied at a bar all night.
Maybe.
The whole, like, someone who is much smarter than me could profess an entire essay about how interesting it is that Hatchin becomes a single mother after all this.
Yeah.
I think it's like
I feel like there's a whole series there.
No, there doesn't have to be, and that's what's that.
So I think is perfect, literally perfect.
Yeah, that's what I think is perfect about it. Is like she essentially went through the same thing that Michiko did, and didn't let it ruin her life. She was like 3 months with a crappy guy, walked away, kept the baby, loves the baby. Seems like honestly just a really good mom.
It's a lot to grok though, because like seeing her go from 10 to that in one episode is emotionally really unpleasant and hard. And like also there's so many implications there. Like when Tristan's saying it could be a whole show in and of itself, he's right that there's like, but the implications are so not that implications, Tristan.
But the implication. Sorry.
So it sucked. I hate the ending. It's a good ending.
It is still one of those, to me, it is the example of, as much as I am the ending is paramount guy, this is an example to me of where the ending, you could remove the ending and it doesn't change my feelings on the show as a whole, because the majority of my thoughts on the show as a whole is everything but the ending.
So I would like the show better if the show ended while mid-car chase, like they just fucking freeze framed it in that final car chase.
If it was just Thelma and Louise, that's it. That's what you want.
That's kind of what
it would be a worse show. It would be a worse show, Geoff. Do not get me wrong, but I would have liked it better.
I mean, they almost sort of do that because they're the last line of the show, if I'm remembering correctly from only a few hours ago, was when they were hugging and it's like, what adventure will we go on now? And it's like, you're just missing the part where the three of you get on the freaking bike and go.
Well, I don't think that they're going to get on the bike and go. I think they're going at least, back home, probably.
To her home, maybe.
She went out to meet her, but
no,
yeah,
Michiko's
there's no
phone
real
at the end.
clear thing on what's going to happen from that point on.
She didn't bring all of Michiko's crap with her, so they're probably going back to her apartment.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Anyway.
This is a good anime. I'm really glad you guys liked it so much.
This is the reason why we have this podcast, Miles. I'm really glad you were able to share it with us. I'm really hopeful I'll be able to share a similar show with both of you and have you feel the same way. You probably won't, but...
And I know one day I will be able to share 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you with both of you guys, and you'll be like...
And we'll think, oh my God, Geoff, you are correct. We did it. We're so sorry.
You'll be Danny DeVito. I get it. That'll be you guys.
Or we'll finally get to the episode and be like, I'm glad you guys finally watched it. And then I'll also be like Danny DeVito. No, I didn't watch it. Bye.
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 Next time on Quest for the Best, Uma Musume, beginning of a new era.